Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my lowest calorie kitchen. Alex from the Keto Fat Loss here, back with another recipe, back with another video. An anabolic recipe that will help you lose weight and stay on track with your weight loss goals. Today we have a special video because I'm not alone on this recipe. I'm here with Dad. No, not my dad. Dad, as in Heinz from DadLifting. He's the one who came up with this idea and I acted upon it. I'll let him explain how this recipe was born. Take it away, Dad.
Hello fellow subscribers to Alex's YouTube channel. I'm Heinz from DadLifting and I'm here out in my driveway because I ate too many of Alex's protein balls and now my family won't let me come inside until the gas passes. I also wanted to come on here and tell you the story of how we collaborated to create the recipes that we're sharing today. It is in one way a typical story of an American idea outsourced to another country for engineering. But in another way, it is a beautiful story of two cultures coming together on a shared mission to achieve something beautiful and wonderful. Basically, what happened was we both are big fans of Ethan Harold's Puffs, and we were talking about it on Instagram. In case you don't know, a lot of us small anabolic recipe creator guys are on Instagram and we're chatting all the time in the DMs. So if you don't follow myself and Alex over there, maybe go check that out. But we were chatting on Instagram and we were lamenting how we love the Puffs recipes, but we were trying to figure out a way, wouldn't it be nice to be able to make puffs without bread? And, you know, we kind of just talked about it, and then a few days later, just randomly, I got a DM from Alex, and he had cracked the code. He had a recipe for puffs with no bread, and I got so excited that I went and made a batch of my own, and lo and behold, he had done it. He had made the base of the recipe that we continued to work with and we developed into the recipes that we're sharing today. So he's got these wonderful sweet puffs, and then when you're done watching this one, come over and watch the savory puffs. I've got ham and cheese puffs over on my channel. We are not calling them puffs anymore, by the way. We're calling them scones because we feel like puffs is Ethan's thing. We love Ethan and we love that the recipes have this heritage of blending bread. So we're gonna keep puffs are specifically recipes that require you to blend bread. We've got scones and we're gonna share those with you today. So watch this video, make the scones, then come over to my channel, watch my video, make some more scones, and it'll just be great. I'm really excited for you guys to try it and I'm excited to hear how they come out and maybe some variations of the recipe that you've created on your own. So share those on Instagram, tag us, we'll share those. So really excited just to be collaborating on YouTube globally. The internet's a wonderful thing. Great to meet other people like Alex and great to meet all of you. Thanks, see you guys on my channel.
So I understand the need for this, I understand what it's like. I used to be a student, I used to stay in apartments that didn't have all the kitchen tools needed, all the kitchen weapons we use today. So what do you do when you don't have the tools? Well, you improvise. This is why we created the anabolic scones. You don't need a blender, you don't need any kitchen tools, you don't need any power tools, you don't need electricity. You only need the basic ingredients and an oven to cook the recipe. That's it, no other tools needed. So let's not beat around the bush, let's get started with the needed ingredients. Okay, so I laid out everything we're gonna need for this recipe. As you can see, there are only a handful of ingredients. It's a very simple recipe, anyone can do it, even if you're a 13-year-old kid. So, what we're gonna need? Some egg whites, some 0-calorie syrup, coconut flour, regular white flour, some xanthan gum, baking powder, vanilla whey protein powder, and sweetener. That's everything we're gonna need for making the basic scone. We're gonna be adding a glaze to it, so I'll be making some powdered sugar from my stevia-based sweetener, and I'll be mixing it with a bit of cocoa to make a chocolate glaze. That's it. So we have the base and the glaze. Simple. So let's start mixing up the ingredients. But first, preheat your oven to 350 degrees or medium heat, depending on your oven. Okay, starting with the dry ingredients. First, we're gonna be adding 50 grams of white flour, 10 grams of coconut flour, 40 grams of vanilla whey protein powder, 2 grams of xanthan gum, 2 grams of baking powder, and 15 grams of 0-calorie sweetener. Mix the dry ingredients up. Now for the wet ingredients, we're gonna be adding 100 milliliters of egg whites, and that's 101, but it doesn't matter. And since I'm making a coconut version, I'm gonna be adding 30 grams of 0-calorie coconut syrup. Now all we need to do is mix everything up. And this is the base for our scones. Grab an oven tray, heat it with a bit of non-stick, and pour everything inside. Work it in so it fits properly inside the tray. Make sure you make a layer as even as possible so you don't have any lumps when it starts to grow in the oven. Just work it in until you're satisfied with the evenness. Is that even a word? Evenness? The evenness. Just make sure it's even. Even Steven. That's the one. There we have it. In the oven for 15 minutes on medium heat. So in the meantime, while the scones are in the oven, we're gonna be making our glaze. It's a chocolate glaze, a simple version. We're just gonna need 40 grams of Confectioners Sugar, 0 calories. As you know, I make my own one because I cannot find any 0-calorie Confectioners Sugar in my area. So that's just made out of my stevia-based erythritol sweetener, ground up in a food processor. Then we're gonna be adding 10 grams of cocoa powder and just a little bit of water to make our glaze. Don't add too much water, just enough to be able to mix everything up. I think this amount should do. I don't know how much this is, I didn't weigh it out, just eyeballing it. Just add a little at a time and move from there. And try not to make a big mess, like I just did. Seems like we're gonna need a little bit more. So just a few drops at a time. If you add too much, your glaze will be too liquid. You want it to stay on the scones, not drip everywhere. So I think that's good. This is the consistency we need. We need it to be a bit runny, but not too runny. Somewhere between runny and creamy, if I may say so. Now it's time to check on our scones. Okay, so this is what it looks like, fresh out of the oven. Our 15 minutes are up. Once you see it start to form these tiny brown spots, that's when you know it's done. So I'll let this cool down for a bit, then cut it up and add a bit of the glaze on it. Check this out. Boom! How's that for a presentation? Just for an extra kick, I'll be sprinkling some coconut flakes on it. So there we go, chocolate glazed coconut scones, anabolic version. So I made the sweet version of the scones. If you want to see the savory version, head over to DadLifting's channel and see the savory scones he made. He put a lot of effort into the recipes, he gave them numerous tries. We had a lot of conversations on Instagram back and forth. He showed me every step of the way, how many attempts he made until he got to his final recipe. So be sure to head over, show him some love and appreciate the effort he put into the recipe. Okay, so here we are, my favorite part of the video, the taste test. As you can see, I've only used about half of the glaze because that thing is really sweet. So you can make half of the portion I made if you only want a light coating like I did. But if you like your scones really sweet, then you can add all of it. Okay, so what we're looking at here, we have our anabolic, low-calorie, high-protein scones, chocolate glazed, coconut flavored. The calories and macros for the whole batch, the glaze and coconut flakes included, we have 474 calories, 55 grams of protein, 5.5 grams of fat, and 44 grams of carbs. So as you can see, there is more protein in here than anything else. It's an anabolic recipe, which means we'll be burning more calories through the thermic effect of food, because the body will burn more calories trying to process all of the protein. Now there is no Starbucks in my area, at least for 100 miles, but we can take a quick look at the nutritional info of a Starbucks scone to see how well our scones compare, at least calories and macro wise. So my scones for this whole batch have 474 calories. How much does a scone of the same size from Starbucks have? It has 840 calories, so that's double the calories. So my scones are half the calories or double the size of Starbucks scones. Let's see how much protein do Starbucks scones have. Mine have 55 grams. How much grams of protein do Starbucks scones have? 14 grams. My scones have only 5.5 grams of fat. Starbucks scones have 31.5 grams of fat. My scones have 44 grams of carbs. Starbucks scones have 126 grams of carbs. So you can see how the volume, the calories, the macros compare. Even though I cannot compare the taste directly, I've tasted Starbucks scones before and I have an idea of what to expect. Now let's see, do these compare to Starbucks scones? At least from what I remember. So let's give these babies a taste, shall we? And see how they compare. Anabolic, low calorie, high protein, chocolate glazed coconut scones. That's a really good tasting scone. This would go absolutely perfect with a cup of coffee next to it. It's sweet, fluffy, coconutty. Consistency is great. Really cakey. Look. That is a win for me, guys. For me, that is an 8 out of 10. That is more than enough for me to satisfy my cravings, and I have a big sweet tooth. But this, for me, does the trick. This is enough for me to stay on track and not go overboard and seek out high calorie dense foods, seek out that junk food and lose progress, man. We don't want to be losing our progress. And the best part about this recipe, since it was born from Ethan Harold's puffs, make sure you go watch the original puff recipes. I will link every single one of them in my description. You can replace the base of the puffs, the bread base, with this base. You can use the scones base to make the blueberry puff, the cinnamon based puff, the lemon glazed puff, the apple brulee puff, as well as the s'mores puff. You just replace the bread base with the scones base. Instead of a puff, you use a scone. Instead of the Ninja blender and bread, you simply mix up a bunch of flour with protein powder in a bowl and throw it in the oven. That was how this recipe was born, and you can use it at will. Get creative, make your own flavors. This is the base for a whole bunch of new flavors and new recipes. I will be digging deeper into this recipe. I will be coming up with new versions and newer flavors of the scones, both sweet and savory, in future videos. So if you like this type of content, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss out on any future recipes I create or review on this channel. Leave me a comment in the comment section below if you tried this recipe, and if it turned out awesome like this one did, hit this video a big like. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you watch these two other videos linked on the screen right now. I never know which way is the direction. And until next time, always remember, you can do it. Everyone can. No exceptions.